So continuing on with our exponent rules, first of all, let's review adding and subtracting monomials. It's the same thing as combining like terms. So while we are using our exponent rules, we're going to notice that our exponents will be changing. But don't forget, when we're combining like terms, when we're just putting two like terms together, we keep the exponents the same. So here I have an x squared y, and here I have an x squared y. So I'm putting the x squared y's together. 9 minus 10 is a -1. So that is going to be what happens when I combine like terms. So here, subtracting 6w from 8w. Again, because they are like terms, I'm putting my w's together. 8 subtract 6, that means I have 2 w's left. All right, so moving on to the product rule. The product rule is, remember, product means multiply. So look what happens when I expand these. So you can remember the rule, which I also tend to call a shortcut. But if you forget the shortcut, you're unsure of the shortcut, you can always expand. So when I say h to the second, that is the same thing as saying h times h. And when I say h to the sixth, that's h times h 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I have all of these h's multiplied together, I can condense them back together using an exponent. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is h to the 8th power. So what you may notice at this point is that if I say h squared times h to the 6th is h to the 8th, I also know that 2 plus 6 is 8. So my shortcut is to add the exponents. Okay, so looking at this, I have -2 times 7. Those are my coefficients, my regular numbers. I'm just going to put those together. -2 times 7 is -14. Then I can look at my a's. So here I have a squared and I have a cubed. So altogether, that's 5 a's, a to the 5th. Or don't forget, 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I can look at my b's. So I have one b here and one b here. B times b is b squared. So the product rule or shortcut is that I can add my exponents together for the same base, and I can get my answer easily. The power rule. This time I have a power to a power. So if I take a look at number 1, I have x squared to the 3rd power. So that's the same thing as writing x squared times x squared times x squared. Okay? And then if you can remember your product rule, or I can expand some more, 2x's, 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 that gives me x to the 6th. 2, 4, 6. 6 x's altogether is x to the 6th. So if you notice with your times tables, 2 times 3 is 6. So that's my shortcut, a times b. Now, the shortcut does not apply when you have your coefficient. So -2 squared is the same thing as -2 times -2. So -2 squared is going to give me -4. Then I have m to the 5th squared. So that's m to the 5th twice, or I can multiply. 2 times 5 is m to the 10th. Okay. Then I have this left over times m to the 3rd here. So I can still put these together using my product rule and add. So 10 plus 3 is m to the 13th. And don't forget that -4. And the last rule to talk about today is the quotient rule. So let's start with example number 2. Here I need to go ahead and do my product rule from above, which we said the shortcut was to multiply 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 here gives me y to the 4th. And then that's divided by y to the 4th. So once again, if you forget, you can expand these variables out, because hopefully you can see what happens. Y divided by y, anything divided by itself is 1. Y divided by 1, y is 1. We get 1 here. So that was actually not a very good example to start with. Let's go back up to this one. I'm going to put aside the 27 and the 42 for now and talk about what happens when I expand out this x to the 5th divided by x. What I can see is these two x's divide to give me 1, and I'm left with an x to the 4th. So what happens when I'm dividing with my exponents? You may notice, hopefully, 5 subtract 1 is 4. So that's my shortcut. A minus B. I subtract my my exponents. The numerator subtract the denominator. Okay? So then we can look at my coefficients, and I have 27 over 42. So we can always use our calculator to reduce or see what happens. So I have 27 divided by 42, and that simplifies to 9/14. So here we go. We have 9x to the 4th divided by 14, and that is my answer there.